What is up, guys? Thank you for joining me for another episode of Dread Captures. Please like, subscribe, share with a friend, and let's get into them. This next clip is nuts. A guy just hanging out in his tent heard something or someone outside of it, so he grabbed his phone. As he unzips the tent, he gets the surprise of his life. Man, this is not what you want to see outside of your tent. A hungry brown bear, most likely looking for something to eat. The man quickly zips the tent back up, and I know he was praying for this bear to just walk away. However, he's not going anywhere. Check this out. The man begins to yell as loud as he can as the bear circles. Nothing but a flimsy tent standing between himself and this apex predator. Luckily, the man is able to ride this out and eventually the dust settles. He takes a look around and the bear is retreated. Yeah, so after I changed my pants, I would pack all my stuff up and get in my truck, leave my tent, go home, thank the good Lord, and maybe buy a lottery ticket. This is hysterical. Check this out.
What the?
Now, this is far less scary than a bear watching you sleep. That's a fact. However, I would say that it would be pretty funny to see this horse just kind of staring into the tent. Anyhow, great capture. I gotta be honest, it's hard to describe the amount of anxiety I felt watching this video, and I don't really know why. So we see a truck off-roading in the desert, and out of nowhere, it's surrounded by a powerful flash flood. As he reverses from the washed-out path, he's hunting for another exit, and now he sees the water coming up on his left. You can tell the moment he realizes he's in trouble, and he has a matter of seconds to get the hell out of Dodge before this gets really bad. He speeds up, still searching. Then he guns it, shooting the gap and narrowly missing the water. Man, I'm impressed with his driving skills, but I'm probably more impressed by his level-headedness and the quick decision making. Some might have frozen up in that situation, and he didn't have a moment to spare. Crazy video here. So this video came with no description, but I would imagine what we're looking at is that this gator has made his way into a quiet Florida neighborhood. It looks like we have our gator hunter to the left, maybe some police officers or animal control officers, and they were able to get this guy wrangled up. I mean, they did a bang-up job on subduing this gator, I must say. Look as the guy begins to pat the gator's head. This must be some type of calming technique. As we continue to watch, two officers and gator guy go to throw him in the back of the truck.
Across the street over this path.
Yeah.
The path's about 12 foot wide.
You ever been down to Shark Valley?
No.
That's a great ride. And there, it's a pathway through, part of the Everglades there. And there's gators everywhere, and they'll be on the road, and I literally have to get off the bike and walk around them.
Well, I'm doing a ride in November down there.
Yeah.
I did it 2 years ago.
On count three.
Ooh, he's coming back.
And oh my goodness, he got rocked. Wow. I thought it was his tail at first, but the gator's head swung around and drilled him. Sheesh. Watch it in slow-mo. Okay, so the following video was taken by a woman outside of her home in 2018. She's located in Boone, North Carolina, and I think you guys are going to find this one pretty interesting because Boone is a known, proven Bigfoot hotspot. In the tranquil woods near Boone, North Carolina, a local woman's photograph has stirred up a storm of curiosity. Taken in 2018, it lingered unnoticed until recently when it was brought to light and piqued the interest of cryptozoology enthusiasts everywhere. The image, clearer now thanks to expert enhancement, shows what many believe to be a juvenile Sasquatch. Most notable, its muscular build and distinct silhouette against the forest backdrop. Skeptics and believers alike have confirmed the photo's authenticity. It's not a product of digital tricks or props. This is a legit photo taken by a real person, of what appears to be a real Bigfoot. Yet, as genuine as the photo is, questions swirl around the figure's identity. If it's not a hoax, some people wonder if it's a statue or something else. Locals corroborate the woman's claim of no known statues in the area, and whispers of strange nighttime sounds fuel the fire of speculation. The broad shoulders and musculature are stirring debate. It doesn't quite fit the bear profile, and it certainly isn't a gorilla, but it's something wild and unexplained. The photo has turned the Boone Woods into a hive of activity, locals, visitors alike on the hunt for a glimpse of the creature. The woman whose camera captured this mystery keeps a vigilant eye out for another encounter, a hope shared by many in her community. Man, I don't really know what to think of this. This is an amazing picture. You can't see a lot of distinguishable features, but it occurred to me maybe we're actually looking at the back of it, and he's facing away from us. I don't know. Do you guys think this is a case of mistaken identity, or are we indeed catching a glimpse of a young Sasquatch? Better yet, head on down to Boone, North Carolina and solve the mystery for us. Unbelievable footage here of a golden eagle hunting a chamois. Golden eagles have a formidable hunting strategy for taking down these huge mountain goats. They dive from the sky with great speed and agility, using the element of surprise to their advantage. With their powerful talons, they latch onto the unsuspecting prey. They're often hoping to knock them off balance as the mountainous terrain is steep and dangerous. In some instances, you'll see these eagles use gravity as a tool, dragging the chamois toward the edge of a cliff in hopes that the fall will subdue the animal. That didn't happen here, but these guys are taking quite the tumble down the hill. Obviously, this takes a ton of strength and precision, especially since these goats are so much larger and heavier than this eagle. Anyhow, this eagle is not giving up, and neither is the chamois. It's nice every now and then to see the display of nature's raw survival instincts. I mean, these guys are fighting for their lives. It's tough out there. I'll try to link this one in. The comments are pretty funny on this one. We all know the ocean can be dangerous. That's a no-brainer. There's sharks everywhere. But check this video out. You have to see it to believe it. A windsurfer in Australia is just motoring along when he gets absolutely wrecked by a breaching humpbacked whale. Unbelievable. Talk about being in the wrong place at the wrong time. Now, after the hit, the whale just swims away. But that's where this horror story for Jason actually begins. The surfer's leash is caught around the whale, and the whale, feeling panicked, starts diving deeper and deeper, and Jason is going with him. After what probably felt like an eternity, the leash breaks free and Jason is able to get to the surface and breathe. This is what he had to say about the ordeal.
And I saw the head come out, Then I saw the rest of the body come out, and then I saw the whole thing above me, and at about that stage, I've got to be honest, I thought I was in trouble. And it came down and landed straight on me, and then got caught in my leash and dragged me probably about 20 to 30 foot under.
Miraculously, he remained uninjured.
And I could feel it against my skin the whole time. It was a big calf. If it had barnacles, I would have been ripped to pieces because the whale's body was beside me the whole time.
That is such an incredible story because those leashes, they're designed to never snap. Because if they do, then you're left without your board in the middle of the ocean. Terrible. But that thing snapped. Anyhow, Jason said this is not going to deter him. He's getting back in the ocean. And actually, after that interview, that's exactly where he went. Okay, so our next story comes from an Alex in upstate New York. Hey guys, I wanted to share something pretty wild I caught on my trail camera here in New York. I set it up hoping to just see some deer or maybe a coyote. The typical stuff for a winter's day with the ground covered in snow. So I'm checking the footage on my four-wheeler trail, not expecting much. And then I see this gigantic figure. It stopped me right in my tracks. Obviously it's gigantic and walks on two legs, which threw me for a loop because it moved just like a person. But as you can see, it's covered in this thick dark fur. It looks like a Bigfoot to me, and I've heard the rumors about them being in this area. I noticed that it seems to be walking purposefully too. What do you guys think? Personally, I couldn't, and still can't, believe what I saw. I've heard tales of Bigfoot just like everyone, but I've always been pretty skeptical. This though, it's hard to brush off. I even sent this picture to another Bigfoot encounter channel, but I haven't heard back as of yet. I'm really curious as how often does something like this happen. After finding the footage, I went back to the same spot a few times, half expecting, half hoping it might show up again. But I haven't seen anything else, just the woods and, well, the snow. It's weird after you see something like this, and then you go back in the woods, and it's like it's just back to normal. Except now I've got this figure imprinted in my head that suggests there might be more out there than I think. What's your take on it? I'm curious what other folks might think. If you could share it with your audience, or if you have any ideas, or if you've seen anything like it, let me know. Best, Alex. Well, dang. That's about the clearest Bigfoot picture I've seen, at least in a while. Here's my thing, and I hate to say this, but is it a little too clear? I don't know. Anyhow, I am interested in what you guys think about this. In a video shared by Carrie Foridis, we're presented with a puzzling sight, and she's hoping that someone among the viewers can explain. While flying, the footage taken from inside the airplane shows a wing-like shape in the distance. This dark object hovers vertically in the sky and is moving in the direction pointing to the left. The unbelievable sighting led to a flood of theories from viewers, each trying to decipher what the object might be. Some speculate that it could be a type of military aircraft, suggesting that there might be technologies kept secret from the general public by the government? Others are convinced it's evidence of a UFO caught on camera. Anyhow, what do you think? Military, unknown tech, UFO, alien? I'd love to hear your thoughts. So this next clip is from Mandy, and if anyone remembers, I covered some clips of hers in previous videos. She is the mother whose home has been frequently visited by something. No one can figure out what type of creature it is. A cryptid, Dogman, Bigfoot, skinwalker, weirdo from the neighborhood, you name it. She has gotten a few cameras and placed them around her property. And let's look to see what she's found on her roof. Yeah, that definitely looks like a person or some type of humanoid. Listen to this. I mean, okay, look. If this is real, if that laughing is real, I am moving. Mark my words. What is going on out there? Now, could you guys tell if the 3 laughs were the same? The second and third sounded the same, but the first a little different. Maybe I'm just hearing things, like Mandy. This next story was shared by a Reddit user, and it is pretty creepy. This story was shared by a Reddit user named Beth. Her older sister had quite the story to share, one that's pretty hard to wrap your head around, yet she swears by it. When she was just 15, sometime in the late 80s or early 90s, she walked into their 2-car garage in suburban Michigan. There was usually a pair of cars parked there, but on this day, only one was present. As she turned the corner, she came face to face with a little white man, no taller than 3.5 feet, staring right at her. He greeted her, "Well, hello, young lady," and in the blink of an eye, he vanished. Now, she was understandably freaked out, not sure what to make of it, and ran to tell their dad. Doing what any dad would do for his children, specifically his daughter, he checked the garage high and low, up and down, on top of the roof, everywhere. But there was nothing there. Nothing even out of the ordinary, the least. The girl's dad has always been the skeptical type though, not one to entertain tales of the paranormal or anything mysterious. But here's the kicker. As things happen through the years, he admitted he believes her. Some things happen around the garage that he wouldn't talk about, but also he couldn't shake off how genuinely terrified she was that day. And even more notably, how her story has remained the same all of these years. The family has been wondering if anyone else has ever seen something like this. The little white man, she said, looked a lot like a miniature Gandalf the White, with a long white beard and robes. As for the rest of the family believing her, it's really just her sister and her dad. In a video posted by the_3OBS, pilot Jorge Ortega has recorded what some are calling unprecedented UFO footage in the skies above Colombia, a recording that's been verified as genuine. Jorge reports that the object he saw was definitely not a balloon, a drone, or any other recognizable craft. While filming, he noticed the object making subtle movements, prompting him to maneuver his plane in pursuit. He said he got a sense of alarm when the UFO began advancing towards him. Jorge thought it was important to point out that had this object been a balloon, the turbulence created by his plane would have either swept it away or just pushed it off course. Furthermore, he dismissed the idea of being a solar or helium balloon since the encounter took place at an altitude of over 12,000 feet, where the temperature was about 5 degrees Celsius. So someone on Reddit shared a video they filmed in their bathroom. It's mostly just the bathroom floor in the shot, but suddenly a mysterious figure appears and just as quickly disappears. The uploader mentioned that even though they do have a small cat, it was in another room when this video was taken, so they don't have any idea what this thing could be. He racked his brain trying to figure out what this thing could be. He eventually remembered all the lost pets from his past and couldn't help but wonder if this might be a visit from one of those pets, a pet spirit. Apparently the plot has thickened, as the uploader's house looking spooky has definitely got the Reddit comments buzzing. Some are starting to think there might be some ghostly goings-on in the house. But of course, as always, there are a few who aren't convinced. They're suggesting the cat just managed to sneak into the room, made a quick dash past the camera, no ghosts involved. Well, what do you make of it? Is it a case of a friendly pet ghost? Or just a cat with some slick moves? Let me know what you think in the comments. Our journey begins on a scenic train ride through southwest Colorado. Imagine this. You're looking out the window of your train, taking in the beautiful landscapes, and suddenly, a shadowy form catches your eye. Could it truly be the elusive creature? Your heart races as you scramble to capture this fleeting moment. Enter Brandon, a traveler from Florida who came with the simple expectation of relishing the mountain views. Yet, what he encountered was far more extraordinary. Attempting to stabilize his camera at a magnified zoom from a moving train,
Camera stabilized at that zoom level.
Brandon managed to record an intriguing video, one that surpassed many alleged Bigfoot sightings. This unexpected capture didn't take long to become an internet sensation. The relentless limelight, however, pushed Brandon to retreat to privacy on his social media. But amidst this whirlwind, a cherished memory from his childhood resurfaced. The footage reminded him of tales of Florida's skunk ape, a local legend akin to Bigfoot. These tales, spun by Brandon's grandfather during their fishing trips, felt suddenly tangible. And when he shared the clip with his grandpa, the old man's excitement was evident. Yet, the debate surrounding the footage rages on. Was this creature in Brandon's video an authentic cryptid or merely a local prankster dressed in a suit? While skeptics are quick to debunk, many find genuine joy in the speculative theories. And many more claim that this is the real deal. I don't know what to think while watching the video. I would have to say that it is one of two things. Either this is a genuine Bigfoot or Sasquatch sighting, or that is indeed a person dressed in a costume and playing an early Halloween prank on the train passing by. Let me know what you all think about this. This video is from a few days ago and has only recently hit the news stations. As the tale unfolds, if the allure of mystery beckons, perhaps a ride on that very Colorado train awaits you. Looking at a popular picture from online stories about mysterious creatures, we go back to September 3rd, 2013. On this day, the internet buzzed with excitement over a unique photo someone posted on Facebook. This wasn't just any photo. It had a close-up of a strange creature's eye. Trail cameras are often hidden in the forest to capture images of animals. Sometimes animals find these cameras and look into them, curious about this strange thing in their home. What if the eye that looked into this camera was not your typical forest animal? People started to wonder if this eye might belong to the famous creature, Bigfoot. Bigfoot is often thought of as a tall creature that looks somewhat like a human but lives hidden in the forests. This eye in the picture looked a bit human but also different. However, when talking about these mysterious creatures, it's important to be careful and not jump to conclusions. Sometimes, what looks like a solid clue can be just a play of light or an illusion. In this case, an expert looked at the photo and compared the eye to that of a pig. The expert believed that the eye was probably just a pig's eye and not Bigfoot's. A police officer in New Jersey received a call about a deer hit by a car, but what transpired resembled something more akin to a carjacking. The officer's dashcam footage reveals a driver who had pulled over after colliding with a deer. However, the unexpected happened when the injured deer tried to enter the car. The deer showed persistence, but the driver, Ellen Sager, was equally determined to keep it out. She explained that she had pulled over to check on the deer's condition, but when she opened her car door, the deer seemed to interpret it as an invitation to climb inside. Sager described the deer as frantic, but she used her foot to gently push it back, preventing it from getting inside. Eventually, the deer got the message and took off. Thankfully, Sager was unharmed, but unfortunately, the deer did not survive its injuries. There has been a lot of talk recently about UFOs and extraterrestrial life. In a video taken earlier this month, we see what appears to be 3 UFOs flying over central Nevada. As the video continues, you can also see F-22 fighter jets following behind them. After watching this, I immediately went to the comments, and there was a plethora of ideas of what is going on. First, Probably a third of the people are claiming it to be completely photoshopped, pointing out that one of the planes trailing the UFOs isn't even flying in the same direction. The next third claims that the government is escorting the UFOs somewhere, and within the same breath are explaining that government involvement and media control is why we can't say with 100% certainty that aliens are on our planet. The last third are fully zoned in. This is authentic footage and wholeheartedly believe there are 3 UFOs being tracked down by fighter jets just as the video shows. No questions asked. I'm no expert in Photoshop, so I'm not really sure where I stand here. I'm curious what you all think. Are you more of the take me to your leader type? Or is this just a hoax for attention? This is a pretty hilarious clip as an osprey has snatched a pufferfish from the water. For those that don't know, the fish has blown up as its defensive tactic. It doesn't take a wildlife biologist to understand that this tactic is highly unlikely to work against the bird. His best bet is to hope the osprey drops him back into the water. A little side note, these pufferfish are delicious. Have any of you ever eaten them? They're known as chicken of the sea because once cooked, you eat them just like a chicken drumstick. I know you guys aren't here for cooking lessons, but let me know if you've had pufferfish before. In this video, we're journeying into the heart of Grizzly territory to share a touching tale of Boo, a 19-year-old grizzly bear waking up from his long winter nap. Imagine feeling like you've just had the worst hangover. That's Boo for you after his hibernation. Living in the expansive Kicking Horse Mountain Resort Sanctuary in British Columbia, Boo's story is one of hope and resilience. Once a vulnerable orphan cub facing a grim fate, today, he plays a crucial role in advancing grizzly research. Ever wonder how these majestic creatures know when spring is near? As daylight grows and temperatures rise, Boo stirs from his deep sleep. Within his den, he's all hustle and bustle, grooming, stretching, and prepping for the world beyond his hideaway. And the moment he's set, he steps out, blinking against the bright sunlight, taking in the invigorating smells of a new season. The sanctuary works hard to make sure Boo feels right at home, replicating the wild grizzly environment. True to his nature, Boo carefully selects his bedding materials, like grass and fireweed, ensuring he has the comfiest spot for the cold months. But did you know? Not all grizzlies hibernate the same way. Boo started his rest on December 5th, but other bears, especially those near the coast, might skip hibernation if there's enough food around. This is just a really cool video and topic if you ever want to dive into the intricate world of grizzlies. Let's give a big salute to Boo, the incredible representative of his kind. In this video, we see a house sitting off to the side here. The area around the house is well lit. At first, everything looks normal, but suddenly, a large shadow appears from the direction the camera is pointing. The bright lights around the house make the shadow very clear. Right after the shadow shows up, an alarm sounds, suggesting there might be an intruder. The shadow stops for a moment when the alarm sounds, but then keeps moving once it's quiet again. What's really surprising is how big the shadow is. It looks like a very large creature with a hunched back and very long arms. It moves quietly, and if not for the alarm, we might not have noticed it. This makes us wonder, could this shadow be a famous cryptid? The Instagram post showcases what appears to be a hiker, maybe even an explorer, journeying through the woods. At first, everything seems ordinary, with the usual forest landscape, and nothing out of the ordinary. But then, out of nowhere, a large figure can be seen lurking behind one of the tree trunks. Its dark looming presence somewhat resembles the legendary creature known as Bigfoot or Sasquatch. For those unfamiliar, Bigfoot is often described as a large, hairy, human-like creature, believed by some to live in the remote forests of North America, especially in the Pacific Northwest region. As the hiker approaches this mysterious figure, it attempts to hide behind the tree. But here's the puzzling part. Despite its size, it somehow disappears behind a tree trunk that doesn't seem wide enough to conceal it. It's as if it vanished into thin air, leaving no sign of its presence. The person filming can be heard gasping in surprise. There are various theories swirling around. Some viewers speculate it might be a shadow person, essentially a dark humanoid silhouette. Those who dive into the paranormal or supernatural often see these shadow figures as manifestations of spirits or otherworldly entities. So, what's your take? What do you believe this figure is? Recently, a video surfaced on Instagram that has gained quite the attention. The clip showcases what many believe to be a UFO, an unidentified flying object. This intriguing footage was captured on March 23rd, 2023 in Arizona.
What is that?
It's a f***ing UFO.
Oh, shit. Do you see it?
Yeah,
it looks like what is that?
What the?
As you watch the video, you can hear a group of individuals animatedly discussing what they're witnessing against the backdrop of a thunderstorm. Pay close attention, and you might just spot it. Every time there's a flash of lightning, an obscure object appears to be concealed behind the clouds. It's fleeting, but it's there. Many viewers, after watching the video, drew a parallel with the movie Nope. In this film, a man and his sister stumble upon something truly eerie in the skies, hovering over their California horse ranch. Meanwhile, an opportunistic theme park owner nearby attempts to capitalize on this strange and unexplained event. The Instagram comment section was buzzing with activity. Many UFO enthusiasts were convinced that this was a genuine sighting, a mysterious craft revealing itself for just a moment. Yet, there were skeptics who believed it could be some kind of ploy or perhaps even a scheme orchestrated by the government. What do you think? Can you spot the elusive object hidden amongst the rolling dark clouds? There's a captivating video making the rounds on Instagram right now. It was filmed in Iran, and it shows what some are claiming to be a mysterious creature that looks like a mermaid. In the video, you can see a group of people, clearly curious, huddled around this creature. Some of them even bravely poke at its tail, perhaps hoping for some kind of reaction. While the creature lies mostly still on the ground, occasionally shifts its fins and arms. Now, this isn't the first time there have been claims of mermaid sightings. Back in 2009, there was a highly talked about sighting in Kiryat Yam. That particular footage showcased what appeared to be a girl, but with half of her body looking very much like a fishtail. The local authorities were so intrigued that they even put up a cash reward for anyone who could offer solid proof of the creature's existence. Yet, even with the allure of that reward, no one has ever come forward with undeniable evidence. Now, if you're wondering what mermaids are, here's a bit of a refresher. Often depicted in tales and myths, mermaids are said to be aquatic beings with the upper body of a woman and the tail of a fish. These enchanting creatures can be found in folklore from cultures all over the world, from Europe and Asia to Africa. Sometimes, they're painted in a positive light, but there are also stories linking mermaids to dangerous events like floods, shipwrecks, and even drownings. One of the earliest tales of a mermaid comes from Assyrian legends. It's the story of Atargates, a deity who, according to myth, fell deeply in love with a mortal shepherd named Adad. They had a daughter together, Semiramis, who eventually became the powerful queen of Assyria. But tragedy struck when Atargates accidentally caused the death of her beloved Adad. Overwhelmed with guilt, She threw herself into a lake, transforming into a mermaid. Historical figures have claimed to see mermaids too. Christopher Columbus, the famous explorer, once reported seeing mermaids during his voyages. However, he remarked that they weren't as beautiful as the stories and paintings made them out to be. Whether you believe in mermaids or not, it's undeniable that these tales and videos capture our imaginations and make us wonder about the mysteries of the deep. So let me know, do you guys believe in mermaids? This is just another amazing display of athleticism from a cat. Watch as this leopard lays in wait and pounces on this gazelle. Like we've talked about a million times before, when a big cat wants you, she gets you. The best you can hope is that she doesn't choose you as her next meal. Amazing camera capture. In a video that has garnered a couple million views on social media, we can supposedly see a dogman staring through the trees. The encounter says to have taken place near the end of day, after a man's children reported to their father that a dog-like creature was following them. Tell me what you guys think. As we watch it again, I'm not so sure about this. I thought this would be a really cool clip to start this video off with. The face at the end totally creeped me out. This plantation from the era before the American Civil War has been transformed into a bed and breakfast, and it's got quite a reputation. The current owners claim it's one of the most haunted houses in the United States, and there are plenty of eerie stories to back that up. If you take a tour of this historic home, built way back in 1796, you'll hear all about Chloe. She's said to be the ghost of a slave who once lived on the property. The story goes that Chloe took revenge on her philandering owner by poisoning his children. Unfortunately for her, when the other slaves found out what she'd done, they took matters into their own hands and hanged her from a nearby tree. Since then, people have reported seeing Chloe's spirit wandering through the house. She's often described as wearing a white apron and a green turban. Now, here's where it gets really interesting. Back in 2017, a group of women decided to check out the property and go on one of these spooky tours. They took a bunch of photos to document their experience, and when they looked back at them, they noticed something they hadn't seen before. Unbeknownst to them at the time, they had captured something or someone in one of their group photos that looked out of place. The owner of the bed and breakfast later shared this mysterious photo on their Facebook page. In the background of the picture, you can see a girl who seems to be peering in the window. People who've seen the photo have offered different opinions. Some say it could be Chloe, the ghostly girl, while others think it's just a trick of the light or a shadow. I'm not really sure what to think, but it definitely made me jump in my seat a little. Let me know what you guys think. What or who do you think was really captured in that photo? Here's trail camera footage captured on a notably chilly day in a secluded part of the woods. The guy who managed to record this was undoubtedly frightened, a sentiment that many of us might share given the circumstances. As you watch the footage, you'll notice a distinct large figure with thick, dark fur. This fur starkly contrasts with the pristine snowy background, making the creature stand out like a sore thumb. The way it moves suggests it's agitated, perhaps territorial as it shakes a nearby tree with immense power. The sheer force the creature is using on the tree gives the impression it could snap that thing in half, making the bark and branches look like twigs. When we closely analyze the creature's features, it definitely bears a significant resemblance to an ape. But its size is much, much greater, dwarfing any regular primate we know of. Considering its size, appearance, and the region's folklore, you can't help but ask the question, could we be looking at the legendary Bigfoot, the creature spoken of in whispers and often dismissed as mere folklore? Yet here we see some type of creature shaking this tree, so the evidence seems compelling. Realizing the potential danger and significance of his discovery, the person who captured this footage decided it best to get the heck out of there. You can't really blame him for prioritizing safety. However, he perhaps left behind more questions than answers about the mysteries of this wild creature. I hope this email finds you well. My name is Francisco, and I'm reaching out from Roswell, New Mexico. You know, the famous UFO place? Yeah, that's the one. I've been watching your channel for a while now, and after a recent, quite unnerving experience in my own garage, I thought of sharing it with you. I've attached a couple of videos that my security camera captured. You might find them interesting. It was a usual quiet night here. My family was asleep, and just before heading to bed, my phone buzzed with a motion alert from my garage security camera. I wasn't expecting to see much, maybe a stray cat or some wind-blown trash, but when I played back the footage, I saw this glowing yellow ball just floating around. It looked like a basketball-sized orb of light moving slowly and seemed to be looking around, if that makes any sense. Now, I've heard enough tales growing up here about mysterious happenings, so I didn't dare go out and check. I just watched on my camera as this orb moved around. After what felt like forever, I got another notification, showing the orb leaving the garage and disappearing into the night. The next morning, I went into the garage. Everything looked normal, but there was this cold spot right where the orb had been. Super weird. I'm not really sure what to make of it. So I thought I'd send it over to you folks. Maybe your viewers have seen something like this? Or perhaps you might have an idea what this was. Respectfully, Francisco. Yeah, I have to say that looks strange. The weirdest part is that the orb flew in and set off the camera, and then roughly 2 hours later, it flew out of the garage and set off the camera again. Let me know what you guys think. This TikToker stumbled upon something really mysterious while exploring the woods at night during a live stream. In the dead of night, with the trees casting shadows all around him, he came face to face with a glowing pair of eyes.
Why does that look human?
The eyes were peeking out from behind a tree in the pitch black darkness of the forest. Realizing he had just discovered something strange and possibly important, he quickly urged his viewers to take screenshots to help document the eerie event. Curiosity getting the better of him, he decided to cautiously approach the spot where he'd seen the glowing eyes. But when he finally got there, the creature had vanished into thin air. Digging a little deeper, quite literally, he found a hollowed out area of ground right where the creature had been standing. He stepped into the hole, and it was so deep that it came up to his knees. The online community started buzzing with theories. Some viewers suggested it could be a Sasquatch, which is basically a huge, hairy humanoid creature that some folks believe exists in the northwestern United States and western Canada. The name Sasquatch actually originates from a Salish word meaning wild men. You might also know this creature by its other popular name, Bigfoot. It's considered to be North America's answer to the Himalayan Yeti, or the abominable snowman. But of course, not everyone was convinced. Skeptics were quick to point out that the glowing eyes could easily be a trick of the light, or perhaps just a nocturnal animal like a raccoon. As for the hollow ground, they explained that it might simply be the result of damp, sinking soil, not necessarily a footprint of some mysterious creature. So what do you think the guy actually saw during his live stream? Was it just a trick of the eyes and some swampy ground? Or could it have been something far more mysterious? In the quiet town of Middleton, Ohio, a mysterious sight left both its residents and experts scratching their heads. On the night of June 21st, 2023, around 10:30 p.m., rotating green lines appeared in the sky, captivating those who saw it. These lines seemed to dance and twirl in the air, performing an odd aerial ballet. After a while, they swiftly darted across the expanse of the night sky and disappeared. Bryce Garrick, a local, was among those who witnessed this bewildering event. Quick to act, he pulled out his phone and managed to capture the spectacle. The video showed a glowing object, moving in a clockwise direction and then rapidly darting away. Yet, despite the buzz this created among the townspeople, the Butler County Sheriff's Office mentioned they hadn't received any calls regarding the anomaly. Even their dispatchers were at a loss for words, unable to provide any reasonable explanation for what people had seen. Brian Simpson, who leads the Cincinnati Astronomical Society, commented on the incident. He pointed out that the speed of the light seemed too fast for any drone we currently know of. However, he was also quick to remind everyone that, in this digital age, videos can be manipulated with graphics software that's easy to get. For Simpson, the real measure of authenticity lies in having multiple independent reports, suggesting that at least 20 different accounts would help validate such a sighting. Motivated to dig deeper, he announced plans to further investigate this particular incident. Interestingly, this event in Middleton followed a recent public meeting held by a NASA panel. The subject? Hundreds of reports of unidentified flying objects. The NASA panel noted commonalities in these sightings. The objects were often small or round, with colors ranging from silver, translucent, or white. Most were observed flying at altitudes between 10,000 to 30,000 feet. Some were reported moving at blistering speeds, while others hovered motionless. Curiously, these objects didn't seem to emit any exhaust, hinting at unconventional methods of propulsion. NASA, while stopping short of labeling these as extraterrestrial, did acknowledge the mysteries surrounding their exact origins. This sentiment echoed a 2021 statement from the Pentagon which mentioned that out of 144 military pilot reports since 2004, all but one remained unsolved. Finally, NASA emphasized its commitment to creating an open dialogue around these sightings. They pointed out the stigma attached to reporting UFOs, mentioning that many commercial pilots often hold back from sharing such experiences. The agency also expressed concerns over online harassment targeting scientists brave enough to dig into these mysterious events. Now, as always, let me know in the comments where you stand on these potential sightings. In this video, we're treated to scenes of a thriving natural environment with tall trees and young plants bursting to life. It might seem like just another beautiful display of nature, but there's more to it. As you watch, keep your eyes peeled. A distinct dark shape emerges, subtly moving deeper into the woods. This isn't just any random animal. The paranormal enthusiasts came out of the woodwork with theories on this one, and rightly so. Some initially thought it might be an ape or a bear. But when you take a closer look, the creature's size, fur color, and overall appearance don't match that description. So what could it be? Obviously, the most exciting theory is Bigfoot. Given the undisturbed and remote setting of this video, it might just be a genuine Bigfoot sighting. But as always, we leave it up to you. What do you think? Personally, the video seems a little glitchy, and I feel like that figure would be pretty easy to edit into a video. The best clue to this being a real Bigfoot is the branch with leaves on it that is clearly in front of the figure, making it seem that the creature's behind the shrubbery. Anyhow, Dive into the mystery with us and share your thoughts and theories. I've seen more and more of these images popping up all across the internet. These pics are being sent into various channels with a few similarities in all of them. 1. I'm sure the sender wanted to remain anonymous and undisclose their location. 2. The pictures are always in this particular stance and have a few extra fingers. This has most likely been created by artificial intelligence. But for the moment, let's pretend it's not. What do we have here? At a first glance, the creature strongly resembles a chimpanzee due to its prominent features, especially the slender arms, legs, and elongated body. However, its face, the deep-set eyes, and some other peculiar traits make it seem out of this world. At moments, I even sense it has a sloth-like appearance, but that could just be my perception playing tricks. What adds to the mystery is that this was captured in a place where there are no known apes. What do you guys think? Can anyone place what this animal might be? If you've come across something similar or have any insights, please share in the comments. For me, I am lost as to what this could be. The video that's making the rounds on TikTok is both fascinating and chilling, and it was shot just this year in 2023. The footage comes straight from Thailand and features a security guard who's on the night shift, doing what security guards typically do. He was reportedly answering a call about some kind of disturbance on the property. But here's where things get really weird. While he's talking on his walkie-talkie, the camera catches something strange floating in midair. Now, people who've seen this video are buzzing with speculation, and a lot of them think what we're seeing could be a crashu. For those who don't know, a crashu is a spirit from Southeast Asian folklore. It's basically the floating head of a young and beautiful woman. But here's the creepy part. Her internal organs dangle below her as she floats. She's not just hanging around for fun either. This creature is driven by an insatiable hunger and thirst, and she's most active at night. But come daylight, she's got to return to her body, which looks like any regular human being. You might even bump into her during the day and not know it, although she'd probably look pretty tired. To protect themselves from the crashu, a lot of locals take some pretty unique precautions. They'll put spiky plants around their homes to keep the spirit from getting too close. And that's not all. After a baby is born, the family will often bury the placenta far away from the village. The belief is that this keeps the crashu from haunting the area. So the big question is, did this TikTok video just give us real evidence that the crashu exists? It's a question that's sparking a lot of debate and drawing attention from people all around the world. In the town of Caxambu, Brazil, an unusual event caught the attention of people around the world. A video clip went viral, sparking a whirlwind of speculation and curiosity among internet users. Shared by someone on Reddit, this video showcases what appears to be a glowing humanoid figure perched atop a hill. As you watch, it becomes evident that this glowing presence is considerably larger than normal, especially when compared to the other people milling about, who look tiny in contrast to this glowing being. However, there's an intriguing aspect to this video that caught the eyes of many. The glowing figure doesn't move at all. It's completely still throughout the entire clip. This little detail has given skeptics some ammunition. They argue that what we're seeing might not be some mysterious glowing creature or entity. Instead, it could be a large, non-living object that's merely catching and reflecting the sun in such a way that it appears to glow. Think of how sometimes, at the right angle, a building's windows might reflect sunlight so brightly that it's almost blinding. But even with this skeptical viewpoint, it's hard to deny the allure of the video. The internet couldn't get enough of it. The original post gathered thousands of upvotes, and before long, it was being shared and discussed on various other social media platforms. People everywhere were throwing out their theories, trying to explain the unexplained. Was it an elaborate prank? A trick of the light? Or something truly unworldly? The chatter hasn't died down. Even now, people continue to discuss, debate, and wonder about this mystery. The video from Brazil has turned into one of those internet phenomena that keeps people talking, uniting strangers in their shared curiosity and desire to uncover the truth behind the inexplicable. Our next clip is an intense video showing a creepy red-eyed entity chasing some guys through a forest. Is this footage genuine, or just another staged video seeking online attention? Let's dive in. This video was taken during nighttime, so the clarity isn't great. Still, we can follow the action. As the cameraman flees, he occasionally looks back, capturing the creature's glaring red eyes. Interestingly, these eyes blink, suggesting it's not just some artificial light. The video is all over the place. At one point, it captures a guy leaping off a ridge into a river, escaping the relentless pursuer. He seems to regroup with his pals, but those menacing eyes remain on their trail. Given they're being pursued by what appears to be a cryptid, it's understandable that the footage isn't cinema quality. However, it does remind one of the found footage style popularized by movies like the Blair Witch Project. So, is this a genuine recording or just some folks trying to create a buzz? Suppose it's real for a second. What could this red-eyed creature be? While the video doesn't clarify, the famous cryptid known for its eerie red eyes is the Mothman, which, as some accounts suggest, chases people who disrupt it. What were these guys up to before the chase began? Did they provoke this entity? Let me know if you think this is real or recognize the creature, or if this is all just a big dumb hoax.